After the disappointment that was the Galaxy A12, Samsung has launched yet another A series smartphone, the Galaxy A32. This phone is available in two variants, a 5G model that will basically cater to the Western markets such as the US and Europe, while the standard 4G variant is reserved for the South Asian countries. Beyond the network capability, you might be surprised to know just how different the 4G and 5G variants of these phones are. So much so that if they do not have the same name, one might easily pass them for two different phones. Here, as you can see, the Galaxy A32 5G comes with a 6.5 inches TFT HD screen, while the regular A32 boasts a 6.4 inches Super AMOLED FHD display with a 90Hz refresh rate. Likewise, the 4G variant has a 64 megapixel primary camera, while the 5G model comes with a 48 megapixel sensor instead. But the biggest difference lies in the performance department, where the A32 5G that looks like an inferior phone up until now features a more powerful MediaTek Dimensity 725G chipset, whereas the 4G variant makes do with the Helio G80 that you can get in budget phones these days. If you look at the prices, the A32 5G costs around $300, while the 4G variant that's launching in our part of the world goes for a similar price of 21,000 rupees in India. Anyway, I have been using the Samsung Galaxy A32 4G for a day now, and here are my early impressions of this phone. Okay, starting with the design, no doubt that it's a really well-built phone. And thanks to the refreshing color options, the phone looks gorgeous too. This new camera module design is an attention grabber and certainly stands out compared to the now traditional layout in other mid-range phones. But the best part of this phone has to be its lightweight build quality. At a time when phones in this price category like Xiaomi's Mi 10i and Samsung's own Galaxy F62 are introducing a bulkier design, the Galaxy A32 makes a contradicting statement for itself. The only other phone I know to have an ergonomic design such as the Galaxy A32 in this price segment is the Realme X7. So it's fair to say that Samsung has done a good job in the design aspect. And I would have said the same thing for its display a few days back, but Xiaomi just launched the Redmi Note 10 series with 120Hz Super AMOLED screens. So even though Galaxy A32 is Samsung's first non-flagship phone bearing a higher refresh rate screen, A32's 90Hz Super AMOLED display does not feel special anymore. Still in all, this display is a really good one with nice contrast levels and sufficient brightness. I'm pretty impressed with its touch response as well. Not to mention, Samsung phones have one of the best dark mode optimizations, so there's that as well. Instead of a side-mounted fingerprint sensor like in the Redmi Note 10 series, Samsung has gone for an in-display implementation. As always, it's not the fastest, but gets the job done anyway. Now getting to the cameras, Galaxy A32 has a quad camera setup consisting of a 64 megapixel primary, 8 megapixel ultra-wide and 5 megapixel depth and macro sensors. Similarly, the notch up front houses a 20 megapixel snapper for selfies. As I mentioned earlier, at the time of recording this video, I've had the phone with me just for a day, so I haven't been able to check its full potential. But what I can say so far is that the pictures from the Galaxy A32 look good enough with decent sharpness and good colors. However, by the looks of it, I cannot say that this is the best Samsung has to offer for the price, considering just how good F62's cameras are. The inferior ISP and DSP of the Helio G80 certainly affects its camera performance, and that's definitely proven by the fact that the phone can only shoot up to 1080p 30fps videos. Talking of performance, well, this is the area where the phone falls miserably behind the competition. We generally see MediaTek's Helio G80 chipsets being used on phones that cost half of what Samsung is asking for the A32. So from benchmarks to real-life performance, this Helio G80 chipset does not compare against the likes of Snapdragon 750G or the Dimensity 800U found in competing devices. As a result, gaming is not the best of experiences on this phone. I did play a few games, and as you can imagine, the phone's performance was not up to the mark. Having said that, I haven't had the chance to fully test this device, so I will update everything in my full review. Moving on to the battery, you get a standard 5000 mAh cell inside, which I think is a good enough capacity considering the phone's ergonomics. However, you only get 15-watt fast charging support here and lacks the faster 25-watt charging which we saw on the Galaxy F62. This again I think is a limitation of the Helio G80 chipset. I haven't had the chance to perform a charging test yet, but I'm guessing that this phone will take over 2 hours to get fully charged, which I think is a little underwhelming. So coming to an end, Samsung's recent offerings like the Galaxy F62 had me really excited for what the company has in store for its upcoming A series, but entries like the Galaxy A12 and A32 have disappointed me a lot. Above all, the choice of an inferior chipset not only delivers a relatively inferior performance, but it seems to be a bottleneck for other aspects such as the camera performance and the charging speeds too. So I think for the asking price of some $300, the Galaxy A32 is definitely overpriced even for the offline market. In my opinion, this phone should have been priced somewhere between 15 to 17,000 Indian rupees to make any sense. So that is all for my initial impressions of the Galaxy A32. What do you think about this phone? Do you think it is worth it for the price it's asking? Do let us know in the comments below. Till then, I'm Pratima Adhikari and thank you so much for watching.